London. So this is the home of capitalism. And you know what? I like what they've done with the place.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I keep on.
You'll remember that in the previous two very short films, in this very short history of capitalism, we found out about why people are taking a greater interest in capitalism. Mainly, I suspect, due to the financial crisis of 2008. The way the world reacted to the crisis might have surprised Marxist critics of 19th century capitalism.
Quantitative easing, fiscal measures to counteract the Great Recession, that's all state intervention. It's not the mythical version of capitalism, but it's one version of real capitalism.
So we've talked about Marx and how he considered 19th century capitalism to be broken, keeping the average man bound to a life of working poverty. But with the 20th century came new ideas. It's time to start thinking again about John Maynard Keynes.
People like Keynes came along and said, no, the capitalism can be reformed. It needs that regulation, but then it can be made to a humane system.
So if you took the Keynesian view on this, the answer would be to use the strength of governments to print money.
I probably would suspect that Keynes right now is spinning in his own grave simply because of the things attributed to him.
One of his most famous contributions was the notion of animal spirits. That's a rush of blood to the head to you and me. I've left the city of London behind now and I'm back here in Dublin, standing outside the Central Bank of Ireland. We know all about animal spirits here. We called our economy the Celtic tiger during the boom. Although looking back, tiger doesn't really seem to be an appropriate animal to describe our economy then. I think we were more like cattle being let out into the spring after being cooped up in a shed all winter. So I guess you could say, welcome to the Celtic bullock. Cast your mind back a few decades to when fiscal discipline was all the rage. And this brings to mind one of our other names in modern capitalism, Milton Friedman. Remember him?
In a lot of countries, people came to believe in Friedman's ideas, and they cut central planning, they cut over-regulation, and their economies started to grow.
So we've had J.M. Keynes, now I'm hearing about Milton Friedman. How are we going to remember all of this theory? Maybe what we could say is that what we have now is a kind of a dull, antagonistic mix between J.M. Keynes and Milton Friedman. You could call it Milton Keynes. Oh, come on, I've just made an economics pun. I should deserve some credit for that. Although, I think we've had enough credit here in Ireland. Anyway, whatevs.
Well, first of all, tell me, is there some society you know that doesn't run on greed?
Ah, yes, now we're talking greed and capitalism. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Well, a lot of people have praised greed as the most important thing that has made the world rich.
Wolf of Wall Street, greed is good, Gordon Gekko.
You know, the fact that something is powerful, something can be powerful, doesn't mean that it shouldn't be regulated. It's like saying that, well, Porsche is a powerful car and we should let their drivers do whatever they want.
Ah, yes, the fast car theory of capitalism. But as we've learned, capitalism is unequal and not everybody has a fast car. Anyway, it's off to the 21st century next week on my very short History of Capitalism.
I got myself.